Hey, thank you so much for being a part of the conversation. Let's play it forward. These are real people, real stories, the struggle to play it forward. Episode number 573 is with singer-songwriter Lana Scott.
Good morning.
How are you doing today?
It is just myself on the phone.
Oh, my God. Boy, that's a lot of pressure, isn't it?
No, I'm used to it. It's fine. How are you doing?
Fantastic. Hey, congratulations. Today is a big day for you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
A lot of people don't understand, especially listeners, and this is not a bash against listeners, they don't understand the journey to take a piece of music or something that you have written, and all of a sudden you come to a day like today, and here it is. I mean, there is a process and a journey that you've got to live before it reaches us.
Oh my gosh, such a journey, especially with this song. So I'm glad that you understand that.
We got to talk about how this song was built because there's a lot of activity in that background. I mean, I sometimes I feel like I'm listening to a banjo, then I hear a fiddle. I can hear so much going on back there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, there's definitely banjo in this one for sure.
It's like the touch of it's almost like you're saying, okay, I came from the roots of country music. I'm going to share it with you, but I'm going to give it kind of a little rock edge so that we can keep it forward.
Yes, exactly. Want to keep it fresh. It's pop country, not trying to be here today in this day and age, but keep it country. So it's marrying the two together is what I try to do.
One of the things that we don't get the opportunity to do, Lana, is get to talk to you after you've been on such a major national show, and it's like, okay, what happened to? And I love the fact that not only did you continue growing, but you want to put yourself in a position of being recognized in music.
Yes, exactly. I have. And for me, I like to say the show ends, but my dream didn't. And if anything, it just was secured, and moving across the country to Nashville right after it ended, building a team. My Nana says the grass doesn't grow too green under your feet all the time. But it's true.
Building that team, what does that require? Because so many times, musicians will say, I got it on my own. No, I don't think so, man. You've got to have someone around you.
Oh my gosh, it takes a village, I will say. And, right now I have an attorney, I've got a publicist, I'm still building the rest. But, my husband is the person I, can always lean on as well, and good friends. But it takes a village. Finding the right producer is so important, which I have found. Love him. And I've got, people in my band here in Nashville that they were in my first ever band back in my Berklee College of Music days in Boston. So that fiddle player, we've been friends and doing music for over 10 years, and same with my drummer. And so if you ever come see a Lana Scott show, you'll see my husband to my right, my best friend to my left. I mean, there's history there. It's so important.
That voice of yours, the way that you can really bring it forward. I mean, when you're listening to this song, I mean, you just melt into it because you're sharing a story and you make us want to harmonize with you. So you're probably going to hear us singing out of tune sometime, but especially at a live performance. But you invite us to sing with you. Oh,
that's a really big compliment. I really appreciate that. I've actually never heard it put quite that way, but that's what I want. I mean, for me as a listener, I love when I'm listening to a song and I just can't help but sing along. So I'm glad that this is that for you. And I really pray that this song does call people to sing along, and really even deeper than that, to believe and just know with full confidence that the problem that they're in or the thing they're facing right now is not permanent, and they're going to be okay. I want it to be just this anthem that we can all sing over ourselves together when we need it. And we all need it sometimes. I need that message sometimes,
So where do you place it on your list when it comes to performing live?
Oh, it's right in the middle.
Is it? Yeah.
I try to start with, something just really upbeat and fast, maybe even like a funny song, fun. And this one, it's not quite a ballad. It's not a slow song, but it really builds. It's a good mid-tempo, but because it means so much to me, I like to stop, talk a little bit about it, and get into it. It's just so special to me, and one of those, I like to put my more sentimental songs in the middle of my set.
Isn't that part of the showmanship, though? I mean, that relationship that when we're in that arena or in that music hall, it's what you're sharing with us that creates a stronger connection.
Yeah, exactly. And those human to human heart connections, like when I share a vulnerable, sincere piece of my past or my dream for the future, there's so much more of an opportunity for the people in the seats to relate and understand. And, even think about themselves and their own lives. And that's the whole point of it for me, of why I do music, is that connection aspect, and trying to just remember, hey, like, we're all people in the same room just celebrating life and music together. So that's what it's about.
Speaking of being in that same room, who was in the room with you while you were putting this together? Was it you and just the engineer, or did you have all the musicians in there with you as well?
Oh, we had a live drummer. We did try fiddle for this song, but it ended up just not quite being the right song to have fiddle. Mm-hmm. But my producer played the banjo. My husband, he's a guitarist. He was not the main guitarist. There's another guy named Jeff King who played so great. He was good friends with my producer. But my husband came in, and there's this signature sound at the end of each chorus where you hear the slide go, and that signature sound, that's my husband. He played that. So it's definitely a collaborative project and really fun.
I love it when we put Easter eggs in songs.
Yes. Like this is going to be for those 8 bars that happen twice, you know?
Yeah, because Casey Kasem and even Ryan Seacrest were the type of guys that when they would share the story of music, it opened up our eyes to basically to love that song a little bit more and to listen to that song a lot closer. But nowadays, the storytellers, it takes someone like yourself, the village, to come out and say, look, here's what you need to be looking for.
Yeah, I love that. That's true.
And one of the things that we're going to be talking about is why this song even came into being. This has got a deep story to it.
Right. Yep. And I don't want to trigger anybody with the S word, but I did lose 2 friends to suicide growing up, and it totally affected me. It's a ripple effect in both communities I was a part of, and it's so hard to grapple with, especially when you're younger. I don't think it could ever be easy, but as a kid, that kind of loss, it's just really hard to digest. But I really knew, and I could feel the power of the music that I would listen to that would get me through. And I strive, and one of my big goals is I want to be an artist that people can listen to that makes them feel better, not worse. Because there's so much music out there, and I'm not going to point any fingers, but it's hard. There's just a lot of just darkness out there without a silver lining. And I just, I think when you're young and you're so impressionable, it's so important to have some songs you can just lean on and listen to that are going to remind you of the truth that things will get better, things do get better, and things make sense later when you get through it. So
on my iHeartRadio channel this morning, we talk about exactly what you were just sharing there. But it's one of those where you want to be positive. The outside part of our shell is being positive, but the inside, it's screaming, oh no, oh no. How do you deal with that storm between, because creative people, we're emotional. We are addicted to creativity, and we've got to bring it forward to share a positive message with people. How do you go through that storm?
Well, honestly, that's a great question pertaining to this song, because with this song, it's a delicate balance because it is such a heavy topic that inspired the song. And I didn't want to write a song that just says everything's okay and everything will always be okay. I mean, the lyrics, it's like I'm living under pressure. I'm dealing with indecision. I'm fishing for validation. And the less I get, the more I slip away. Like, that's a very serious, real lyric about having a hard time, but it's the chorus that says, I have half a tank though of I ain't done yet. My road is still open. It's like, we got to just speak these things over ourselves sometimes. I got this from a writer named Jess Connolly, but it's called speaking life. You can speak death and you can speak life. And so I think this song really is grappling between the two of, hey, I'm in it right now. Yeah. But then the chorus is that moment in the bridge of, hey, I'm reminding myself this is only temporary and I'll be better for it someday. And so I hope that I could do that with this song, because I really am like, I don't want this to be cheesy. I want this to be real, because it's real for me, Yeah.
Getting to that chorus, in radio, we always say, hurry up and, get to it as quickly as possible in 25 seconds or it's going to file 13. How did you know how to get to it as quickly as possible?
Well, I appreciate that. I think because this first verse does tell more of a longer story than the second verse, It was important to us with production that the second half of that first verse, you hear this beat come in, this little stick sound. There's more, you can hear like the 4-part harmony starting to trickle in. So it's building throughout, which is so important. Even chorus 2, as opposed to chorus 1, is so much stronger with more elements. I'm just a sucker for these songs that build, I gotta tell you. So for me, it's all about the build, to keep it interesting, to keep people listening to the message.
Is that you harmonizing with yourself?
That is me.
Yeah.
Actually, you know what? Those verses are me. But there is a lower harmony in the chorus. That is my producer, Josh Ronan, who is singing that lower harmony. I love his voice. It's so gravelly, and I thought it would really complement mine well. And I'm so proud of him. He just got a cut with Kelly Clarkson, and he's such a hard worker. But I'm loving writing with him at Demolition here in Nashville.
That is so interesting that you say hard worker, because yesterday on Howard Stern, Pitbull was talking about it's not talent that gives you success. It's hard work that leads you to success.
Well, let me tell you about hard work. No, every morning from about 7 a.m. to 12, I work. I take my laptop, I go to my neighborhood cafe, and I'm emailing, I'm making calls, I'm designing my website. I'm wearing like 10 hats. But I wouldn't have it any other way, because this dream takes work.
Yeah.
This life takes a lot of work. And I think people are really starting to catch on and see this and wanting to be a part of it. And my team is just starting to really come together, to where I'm not having to do as much of that, but learning how to pass the torch to others who want to help me. But it's so much work. And like you said, when we started this, so much goes into just one single song. So it's a release for me emotionally today that the song is out. It's like my baby's out.
Now, is it going to be part of an EP? Is it an album? What's on the way?
This is part of an album. So I've released 2 singles so far. Country Girl Guarantee was my last one last summer, and then this one. And I've got 10 songs total that will shape my first album. But living in a time where singles and this is just really the way to go if you want people to hear them, especially as an independent artist right now. This feels like the approach. So I'm going to be releasing at least 4 other singles that I've got ready this year. So this year is a big year of releases for me, but this is the first one. I'm so excited. It just feels good to be able to say that out loud, because I've got so many songs now that I love and believe in that I just want people to hear.
I love the idea that you just shared there with saying that, it started last year, because a lot of people want to get things done right now. We are that right now generation. But what to create an album takes time. We need to figure out how to slow it down. And I think sometimes artists like yourself coming out and, transparently saying, hey, look, last year we did the first song. And then you go, whoa, last year. Oh, my God. There's no rush here.
Yeah. Last year did the song. And really, I just moved to Nashville last year. I'm from Virginia, but I was living in California for 5 years. And there's a scene out there for sure. But I knew I always was destined to be in Nashville. It just took the voice to get me out here. And so being new to town and building relationships takes time, and finding the right writers that I really have that great chemistry with. And I've written more songs than I can count, but I've got at least, I've got 10 now that I've been very intentional with putting together this album. I'm like, okay, today I need to write this song. Tomorrow, let's write this one. Let's get this ballad with this message. And so everything has been so intentional. But yes, like you said, it takes time. It takes time to get your footing in a new town, especially this town. But I can really honestly say I feel like I'm at home here now, and things are really starting to pick up in a beautiful way. Even just behind the scenes, I just found out last week I'm in the top 10 of this emerging artist program that the Opry is doing with Tractor Supply, and I'll find it out any day if I'm in the top 5, where Lainey Wilson is the main face behind this. It's crazy, but even just being asked to do that by people in town, it's really starting to, like I said, feel like it's flourishing, and the hard work is starting to pay off. But it's not going to stop, but it is starting to be recognized, which is such a good feeling.
Where can people go to find out more about you, Lana? And because I want them to love you, I want them to support you, and if you're going to hit the road, I want them to be inside that arena.
Oh, you're so sweet. Well, I will say, I can't say who, but there is a tour coming up soon where I will be opening for someone that I think you will know who that is. But if you want to stay tuned and find out when that announcement is official, my website is lanascottmusic.com. And then online on social media, it's A Measure of Lana. So I'm on Instagram and Facebook. It's Lana Scott Music as well. So I'm always updating all the platforms and everything will be announced there, along with my first music video that's tied to this song next Friday. Taste of Country is premiering it. CMT has picked it up.
Nice.
Like, when I tell you this has been a good month, I'm telling you, it's unbelievable. But all of this will be shared on those platforms.
Wow. So how do you keep a big secret like that? Because I know that, my lineup of conversations, 3-4 weeks from now, and I can't talk about them. And it's like, it just really gets underneath my skin going, oh, come on, talk about it. I mean, you got to be just as excited about this tour.
Oh my gosh, I cry. I've still been crying about it. And honestly, the answer is family. Family, family, family. I call my parents-in-law. I got my husband. So we celebrate together, and we're all excited to tell, my world about this too. But I'm grateful because you got to celebrate with someone.
Yeah, you do.
We do our little, we just jump up and down together. That's our thing. When there's good news, you just got to jump. And it's so fun because my mother-in-law is 70 and she's just beautiful and so healthy. And she's just like jumping up and down like a 5-year-old. And I'll tell you, it's really something special to bring joy to other people through things that look like they're my success, but it's really, it's the way, like I said, ripple effects. I mean, it really affects everybody. My dad's best friend has Lyme's disease right now. His name's Lance Kringley, and he's coming to town for this release party. He always shows up for me. He's so sweet. I love him so much. But he told me in tears the other day on the phone that because of me, he's got more reason to hold on and live.
Aww. And
that is something that I'll never, ever forget and would never want to. But that's when I tell you that this is so much bigger than me and my motivation. That's the perfect example.
Absolutely. You got to come back to this show anytime in the future. You are living proof that you can open that door any day.
Oh, I love that. Thank you so much. And thank you for having me on my release day. This is so special. It's been such a long time since we chatted when I was on The Voice. But I remembered you guys and I sent it to my team. Like, we got to get back here with Charlotte. That would be amazing. So thank you for having me.
Well, you be brilliant today, okay?
I will try. Thank you so much. You as well.